Hola, ¿qué tal?
It's not a show, it's an experience. Welcome to the CNR Spectacular.
What up, dogs?
Broadcasting live. They call me Big Dog. Call me Big Dog. Arr, arr, arr. Live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Remember to stream our show, all the Fox Sports Radio shows live 24/7 on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Search Fox Sports Radio in the app. Stream us live. And the newest feature, select Fox Sports Radio as number 1 on your preset. Not number 2, not number 8, number 1, because that's where we are. Covino and Rich, the world famous. I'm Covino, that is Rich. Sam, Danny G, Monty Bolaños is here, which means it's party time. Let's go.
Monty.
She brings the party, man.
I mean, you brought the party in Vegas.
I don't know what I thought I was 23 again. I don't know what I was thinking.
How fun was that, by the way? I know. You know what it's like? It was such a big weekend of fun that it's almost like a wedding where it takes a week to almost
process
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Recover.
I mean, you were having some fun, huh?
I did, and then I went to a wedding. So do I need 2 weeks since
might.
I did back to back?
You might. And we're happy to have Monty here. We love Dan Byer. It's just nice and refreshing to see Monty. That's all. Hope you had a great night. Let's have a kick-ass Thursday. Thursday's the new Friday. The weekend begins. We have lots to get to today. Every Thursday, old school when 50 hits. So we throw it back, we rewind, we reminisce, we get you involved. 877-99 on Fox. Let's just say we're going to talk sex.
Oh.
Or something like that. We're going to celebrate somebody when 50 hits on the clock, so stay tuned.
And it's perfect that we have Monty here for a good female perspective because there's a hypothetical floating around social media today, and it has to do with who's the most eligible bachelor that's going to be at Jeff Bezos' wedding.
Okay.
2 guys that are now apparently, best bros. They're hanging on water taxis in Venice already. One's an athlete, one's an actor, and they're broing it up, and it's a funny hypothetical.
All right.
And, of course, we have to talk about being a father, being a parent. There's a story in sports that involves being a dad and what you expect from your kid. It also involves the NBA draft, and we have to give our reaction on the NBA draft. Day 1 yesterday, Cooper Flagg is the man. We knew that. No surprise there. Day 2 today. But what were your immediate reactions? What were your thoughts? Did you tune in? Was it kind of boring? What were they wearing? Were you impressed by that? Did you say, huh? What? What's that?
Well,
any surprises, let us know.
Here's
877-99 on Fox.
I got to ask you a question if you want to have this conversation. Do you want me to keep it real or you want me to lie?
Lie to me, Jerry.
Lie to me, Jerry.
Keep it real.
I didn't watch the NBA draft. I mean, Cooper Flagg was going number 1.
Dude, who sits there and watches it? It's just on. You just put it on.
I watched the NFL draft, but I was busy doing things.
You could be busy doing things, still have it on. Meaning, like, I had it on, but I was doing the scroll. I was on my phone. I was sliding around my kitchen floor.
Didn't even get that for me.
I swept up a little bit, cleaned the counters off. I mean, it was just on.
Rich is making me feel like a loser because I watched the entire thing.
But you sit there, honestly, Danny, do you sit there glued and watch the whole thing, or you just have it on?
Like the first 5 picks, I was glued to it, and then after that, it was on in the background.
No, that's fair. And then you see, that makes perfect sense, especially Danny being the resident Laker fan.
I don't know. We had a buddy in town. We got a cup of coffee, caught up with an old friend. I went to the gym. Got home and my wife and I got dinner. Like, honestly, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right, the NBA draft. But I think the fun of social media in 2025 is you don't feel like you miss anything.
And by the way, when Rich says we caught up with an old friend, it wasn't like some guy named Ebenezer. It wasn't like Sam, the old guy. Not you, I.O. Sam. Just you have
like
an old,
Sam the Butcher.
You have an old guy name.
Actually, Sam's a young guy name.
Some call me an old man at heart.
No, you are. You're the bee's knees. So
and don't pick up any wooden nickels.
Caught up with a friend we
Caesar's
haven't
ghost.
seen in a minute, and we had a busy day, but still had the draft on when I got home, and today's day 2 of the draft. First thing I noticed, again, this seems to be a commonality in the NBA world. I felt like the excitement level wasn't that grand, and these are just observations. It's not nitpicking. It is what I felt. Like I felt like it wasn't the excitement you get from the NFL. Not even close. Not even in the same. Well, ballpark wouldn't really be the
arena.
It would not even the same arena.
Stadium.
Yeah. And again, maybe that has to do with because the first pick was that obvious. Everybody knew Cooper Flagg would be in Dallas. But then you make the other observation. It seemed like some players weren't that pumped to be on the team they were drafted by.
That's my one and only observation. Of course, we all knew Cooper Flagg was going to go number 1, and could that have given Nico more time in Dallas? Dallas now all of a sudden looks like they're right there again, right?
They're in the mix.
The fans at the Mavericks official draft party were still chanting to fire him.
Poor guy. He's like, no, keep Nico, keep Nico.
Yeah.
The two guys that stuck out to me, South Carolina's Colin Murray Boyles. He gets drafted by the Raptors, and they pan to him, and all you see is him mouth, fudge.
Yep.
But he didn't say fudge. Fudge. And you're like, is that the excitement? Like, oh, man, the anxiety's over. Because he tried to sell it as, yeah, man, it's like the anxiety was over. I finally knew where I was going to go. I think it was a fudge because now I have to go move to Canada. He's a Southern kid, South Carolina. Got to move to Canada now.
You have to know you're on camera, right? So you have to be careful of what you do and say in that moment. So we saw a natural reaction there. I'm with Rich.
I think the other reaction, Ace Bailey, got drafted by
there was no reaction.
the Jazz, and he's like,
I'm blessed.
his reaction was like,
I'm blessed.
I guess I'll make millions there.
But you know what? He actually spoke out and said he's all jazzed now. He's all jazzed up to play in Utah.
Leading up to the draft, he made it known he did not want to go to Utah.
Yeah, that was not one of his preferred
He
destinations.
flipped the script on it, though, and said the right things,
Right.
afterward.
The Raptors, before you move on from the Colin Murray Boyles, they posted a pic. So the Toronto Raptors X account posted a picture of him smiling, and it says, "See, guys, he's happy."
I read he's all jazzed. That's what I read.
No, she's talking about the Raptors.
The Raptors.
Oh.
The one that
The
said
Raptors.
the F-bomb when he got drafted. But they're like, he's happy.
Well, you know what, though? They should be happy.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Like, you made it into the NBA. You're the 0.1% of the chosen people that were good enough to get this far.
Yeah.
You're living every kid's dream.
So there's so many-
you might not want to play on that team, but guess what?
There's so many
You're getting your
layers.
feet wet. You're getting the experience in the NBA to earn that big contract. And if you're really the man, turn that franchise around like a Giannis did. You know, you think he wanted to play in Milwaukee? I don't know, but he made it his home and he made the best of it. If you're really the guy, you could change that franchise. So, to me, I don't give a diddly squat if you're happy or not. You should be thrilled that you just changed your family stars, no matter where you end up.
Well, no matter where you play in the NBA, the money is huge for first-round picks and guys that end up signing deals,
But
right?
dude, also less pressure. If you end up on a weak-ass team, that's where you get your feet wet, man. That's where you learn the ropes. That's where you acclimate to the NBA.
I'm glad you said that because there's a couple layers here. Unless you're a Cooper Flagg, who you could feel will likely make an impact right away. If you are a top 10 pick 8, 9, or 10, do you feel less pressure if you end up in playing for the Hornets?
Absolutely.
Or do you want to play for the Knicks, the Lakers, the Celtics? Like, do you rather drop and try to find your way onto a premier team? Or is there something to be said about, hey, listen, man, I don't need the pressure?
Something to be said about you and I learning the talk radio ropes in the bubble of Sirius XM? It's a big, gigantic bubble, but it's still a bubble in the grand scheme of things. So that when we come here to Fox Sports Radio, people are like, bam, they're ready. There was less pressure there. These guys get to learn the game. It's a much faster game. And, again, acclimate, like I said, and work their way up to that bigger contract, that bigger city, that bigger platform, whatever the case may be.
Also, you want time on the floor. You want to be in the lineup. You want to be in the game.
Experience.
Did Dalton Connect get to play any minutes in the playoffs?
Dude, you get your reps.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? You get your reps.
Now, if Dalton connects on another team, he's getting all the minutes, but he's not on the Lakers. So there's so many angles and ways to look at this. You're right, Covino. It's a good way to get your feet wet. You could make a difference in a franchise with very little expectation.
And playing time.
Less eyes on you. You get more playing time. But I'm just saying, I point this out a lot, Covino, during the NFL draft. There's a big difference between getting drafted and finding out, all right, I'm going to live in Southern California and play for the Rams. I'm going to live in Jersey or New York and play for the Giants or Jets.
Yeah, but guess what, Rich?
Versus I'm moving to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
So what? You're getting paid nicely, and you're one of the chosen ones. everybody makes sacrifices for their career.
But don't act like
and
there's
their
not a
career
difference.
isn't the NBA. There is a difference, but how many people in our industry, like every industry, please chime in and represent. But in our industry, if you really want to make it, you got to be willing to sacrifice and move somewhere else in small markets. So you think I'm going to feel sorry for the guy who's in the NBA? Not a chance.
No, I'm not saying feel bad for him, but you have to acknowledge
No, they
preference.
should be grateful. They should like it. That's just the luck of the draw. That's why it's a draft. And it's temporary. They'll end up somewhere else if they're good enough.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying you're allowed to have that emotion.
Yeah, but you don't let it show. We saw it. We saw visible disappointment last night, whether they want to spin it or not. There's the truth and the spin. The truth is, we saw with our own eyes disappointment. There wasn't excitement. Was there excitement? We would have been able to see it. We saw maybe relief. You could try to spin that. But we got the spin like, no, they're all happy. I don't know about that, but they should be happy.
You do look like an entitled little a-hole. And I'm not calling out anyone in particular, but the sentiment of looking disappointed being drafted is like the ultimate, like, are you kidding me? Like, are you out of your effing mind? Like, oh man, you're in the NBA. But to say that you don't understand a little bit, yes.
You don't, because there's pros and cons. All right, you may end up in a bigger city where the sun's shining brighter, but you get no playing time. Where do you get to shine?
I know, but
this guy may get to shine on a smaller market team. That's more important. So there's pros and cons, and they're just looking at it glass half empty.
There are guys that get drafted in the NFL and the NBA where everything lines up, where it's like, he's a Florida kid, he was a Gator in college, and now he's playing for the Buccaneers. And you're like, yo, his family, his life, his college, everything is in the same state. And to those people,
that doesn't always pan out.
No,
though.
but what I'm saying is that's a scenario where it's like, oh my God, amazing. Or you live in the South, you went to Georgia in college, and now you're playing for the Falcons or the Saints or the Panthers. You're there. You're taking some of these kids and saying, all right, young man, you grew up in a small town in South Carolina. Yeah, now you're going to Utah or Toronto or, across the country. Agreed, privileged and blessed. It's not awesome necessarily.
Again, depending on how you look at it. No, it's awesome? Playing. What's awesome? Growing. What's awesome? Putting up great numbers so you can get that bigger contract to a bigger city. Like, what's so awesome about playing on a major market team and you're not playing at all?
I hear you.
Right? So there's just pros and cons depending on how you look at it. Like, you're basing it on lifestyle and location and summer fun.
But you downplay the personal side of this. Like, there's a big difference. If you're a young man.
There is, but they're not at that level. They're just out of college.
I get it.
I think they can make that sacrifice.
Making millions, you're blessed. I'm saying put aside the fact that, yes, we all agree they're blessed, and you look like a complete weenie if you complain about being drafted into the pros. But there is a big difference between, Covino, you're a young guy in the NFL. With the 23rd pick, so-and-so goes to the Dolphins. You're like, I'm living in South Beach versus I'm living in Minnesota.
Start? Every time we saw someone drafted in the NFL, for example, you saw everyone, no matter what it was, proud to put on that hat because they made it, dude. They made it.
Feels a little bit different in that league.
A little bit.
With the draft, the NBA players feel just a little more entitled. The young players do.
I mean, and don't blame us for making the observation. It's an obvious one. It's an obvious observation. We're just calling it as we see it.
The NFL,
it's not picking on anybody.
Everyone's
or anything like that.
hugging Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
Everyone's all smiles, put on the hat. Post interviews like, I'm bringing my best, and I'm going to give it to Cowboy Nation. Like the NBA, it's just a different vibe.
Also, like, half of these guys made a ton of money in NIL already, and you're mad or you're annoyed. Yeah. It's hard. Like, those, I get it, Ace Bailey. You don't want to be there, but you are.
On the smallest of levels, though, Monty, right? When your Aunt Sharon bought you a Christmas gift, and it was a bunny costume. Didn't you fake it a little bit? Like,
absolutely.
Hey, thanks, Aunt Sharon. Oh, yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thanks, I love it. Thanks, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uncle
Thanks,
Frank, you got me a globe.
You got to fake the funk on a nasty dunk. You're on TV. They're paying you money. They believe in you. They drafted you. Show a little bit of what? What's the word? Just be grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Grace, humility.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
That's
Grace.
all we're saying. When is that out of style? You're going to pout like a big baby? Because that's what we saw. It wasn't the most drastic thing in the world, but it was obvious. That's why it went viral. That's what everybody sort of saw. So we'd be lying to say that we didn't notice it. But I noticed it.
Can't you at least admit, though, that while, yes, you got to fake the funk, you got to be grateful, some people do get a little luckier than others. Like, let's look at your Yankees. Anthony Volpe grew up a Yankees fan. Derek Jeter's his hero, and now he's the shortstop of the Yankees. Like, some people's story is just lines up with the stars.
Maybe he manifested a little harder. I don't know.
But I'm saying, like, there's guys that
absolutely, I get it.
I'll give you a great
but
example.
You know what Anthony Volpe has too? A ton of pressure on the guy.
No, I know, but
where people are like, "Hey, he's not cut out for New York. Let's just face it. He's not the guy. He's no Derek Jeter. If he was playing in Colorado, he'd be lighting it up. Everyone would be kissing his ass.
Hey,
you know what I mean? So there's pros and cons. He's learning as we go in the biggest city possible. There's a lot of pressure on Volpe.
Who's Danny G's favorite football quarterback he loves to talk about every day?
Danny G, favorite quarterback? I don't know.
That he loves to talk about every day.
Where
Jim
I put
Plunkett.
a 4-minute timer on you.
Jim Plunkett.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's being sarcastic.
Now, Aaron Rodgers, his storybook was California kid, grew up idolizing Joe Montana, went to Cal, Niners had the top pick. That storyline, in his mind, would have been like, and now I'm a Niner. Does not work out that way. Goes to Wisconsin, has to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, finds his way and everything. But I'm just saying, like, some people's story is a hell of a lot sweeter than others.
Some. We're going to talk about a few of them later on today. One of them is somebody's birthday, in fact, today. And there's another story, too. We'll take your phone calls on this. Not everybody, but there was some sense of lack of gratitude. Oh, another observation. Was it Trey Johnson? Danny G, number 6 to the Wizards?
Number 6 to the Wizards. We haven't seen this since the other Trey Young, wore had the Angus Young look. Yeah, it looked like he was
First of all,
about to go on tour.
A lot of people think it's cool when Angus Young does it. He's the oldest schoolboy I've ever seen. Angus Young's 180 years old wearing a schoolboy outfit from AC/DC.
Yeah.
What's the deal? I get it. Trends change. Don't want to sound like the old guy, but the whole little schoolboy shorts with the suit, like, what is that? Come on, bro.
Turn you on?
No.
They said business from the waist above and AC/DC below the belt.
Hey, listen, some men like the schoolgirl outfit. Monty, do you like the schoolboy outfit?
Not as much. I prefer the schoolgirl outfit.
Okay, yeah, it's a little sexier, right?
You know what, though? Trey, he actually did look excited, so I got to give him the pass, but I have to say, what the hell is he wearing? Even though when we look back to the 90s drafts, you see all these oversized suits and everything. It's always funny, but that was absurd.
I got to throw in one quick thing, too, because you guys were using the word gratitude. You weren't tuned in at the very end of the first round, but the Brooklyn Nets grabbed Danny Wolf. And he and his family, especially his brother, were sobbing. It made, did you see that?
Yeah.
And it made a lot of the analysts on the set cry.
Yeah.
It was a great moment.
But that's the contrast, though, right? Like, that's what you want. Like, man, look how much it means to them. That just changed their whole life. His dream came true. Look at his family, how proud they are. That's what you want. You made it, dude. You made it. So when you sit there ho-hum pouting, as a regular Joe, how could you not make the observation of, what's that about? I was pointing at my TV like Leo DiCaprio. Like, what's he doing? Why is he not smiling, this guy?
A little bit of what a difference in having to go the long route. Like his dad said, the odds have always been against him. He's always had a chip on his shoulder because he wasn't supposed to make it this far. And he sat there through the entire first round. A lot of the supposed experts had him going halfway through the first round, and he waited all the way to the bottom.
His face went right into his hands, covering up the tears, crying. Yeah, a special moment. That's what it should be for everybody, regardless of the city. You made it, dude.
I mean, it's a big moment. I also thought it was pretty wild when our very own Colin Cowherd got drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. Malika Andrews made the big announcement.
So the Portland Trailblazers select Colin Cowherd here. This is a young man with the ultimate bet on yourself story.
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, then he was traded to Memphis.
Yeah, then he was traded to Colin.
By the way, he leaned into that as he should. That was hilarious. The kid's last name was Coward.
Yes.
That's the kid's last name.
Yeah,
Coward.
unfortunate spelling of that last name.
Cedric Coward.
Why wouldn't you
not
change the
Colin
name?
Cowherd.
Yeah.
Cedric Coward.
Yeah.
Maybe he's so cool and confident. He's like, I don't care if my name's, Butt or something, or something.
General Booty.
General Booty.
Yeah. So there was another observation we made last night, and it actually poses another question. So we'll take your phone calls on your observations, but I want you to start thinking about something else too, all right? Dylan Harper was
Isn't she a porn star?
I don't know. Pervert.
No, Dylan.
Oh.
Dylan Harper.
I mean, the basketball player, right?
Taylor Rooks, our old colleague. We worked with Taylor at SNY. Taylor Rooks asks Dylan, and we'll play it and we'll talk about it later. I just want you to start thinking about it. She's like, you have one of the most famous names here tonight. Your father, Ron Harper, NBA star. What are you better at than he was?
Then he.
And his answer sort of, I don't know, made me feel some type of way. So what do you expect from your children? What do you think your parents expect from you? There's an interesting answer that he gives. We're going to play that for you and talk about it next. But your NBA draft day one reactions, hit us up at 877-99 on Fox.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio.
When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say.
It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event
You
during
can't.
a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio.
When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during
can't.
a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
We are CNR on FSR. I made it. I made it. Who sings that other song? I look up to the sky and now the world is mine.
I don't know. How about this one? Fall Out Boy.
I don't like Fall Out Boy. Just kidding. Iowa Sam on the ones and twos.
What did Pete Wentz ever do to you?
I like Pete Wentz.
And by this is not even Fall Out Boy. It's Panic at the Disco.
You're a dunce. That is Danny G on the phones at 877-99 on Fox. We got Monty Bolaños with the update in about 9 minutes. Spots on the videos. Remember, we're streaming on Fox Sports Radio's YouTube page, and you can see all our clips at Covino and Rich at Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Covino, the All-Valley Karate Champion, and that's Rich Davis.
You know, I was just looking at something that I thought was awesome for Major League Baseball. We are exactly at the midway point for some teams, right? So a lot of teams have played 81 games of 162. And would you believe that after 81 games, the Mets and the Phillies are identical, to quote my cousin Vinny. 47 and 34. They're tied for first place after 81 games, which is great for baseball because every division's tight. Your Yankees are a half a game ahead of Tampa. Detroit's the only team, and Houston, they got some pretty good leads, but every division's pretty tight. The Dodgers haven't got cold yet, and you know they will at some point.
First team to get to 50 wins in the NL yesterday.
They haven't got cold yet. That'll happen at some point. The best always go through something.
Max Fried, first pitcher to get to 10 wins. Let's go Yanks. But we're talking basketball now.
Yeah.
And I figured it out. Kevin Rudolph sings the song I was singing before. But I made it. It's a wonderful feeling. And we saw a bunch of people make it last night. They got drafted. And to be fair, I had an epiphany. I was in the bathroom and I was thinking about it.
Oh, that's when you're peeing and you come up with a deep thought, yeah.
I said epiphany.
Yeah.
I had an
I'm
epiphany.
just letting people know.
And I realized, as we over-speculate and dissect the first round and the reactions, there's lots of things to keep in mind. I don't want to come down hard on young kids who might not know how to react in that situation. We don't know the level of nerves. That's one thing. And also the feeling of, I'm not surprised. Maybe they're not as surprised as we feel they should be. Like, yeah.
I agree. I've never been a 20-year-old
Exactly,
kid.
right? So I'm just trying to be fair.
I've never been a 20-year-old that knows that if my name is called, all of a sudden me and my family are multimillionaires. I don't know that feeling.
But you never thought it out. Like one of my fantasies, like my dreams aren't as big as first-round NBA. But there will be a day, Danny G, when I'm at a fight. Chavez Jr., Jake Paul, Canelo Crawford. I'm there at the fight.
Yeah.
And the camera's on me. What am I going to do, freeze in the moment? Or throw up a fist like I'm shadow boxing?
Underneath your
radio
the screenshot,
superstar.
it says Fox. Well, I guess
Fox
your business
Sports
card.
Radio Tycoon.
Radio Tycoon.
Yeah, and then I do a little punch, like because I thought it out already.
God, I
You're
hope
gonna
they-
tell me these guys never thought out the moment?
I hope they misspell your name.
I'm just
Steve Corvino.
which would probably happen for sure, right? My one sweet moment.
Rich leaning out of the frame.
But nerves are high. They had to have thought about it. But they're also very young.
I know.
There's a lot in here. Maybe we're expecting too much.
I know what you're saying. It's sort of like when someone wins a Grammy or an Academy Award. They're like, "Oh my God, I didn't expect this." Like,
But you
come
know what
on,
it is, too?
you're one of 5 people. You're not freaking prepared. Come on.
I'm always torn on this
I
this
didn't
statement.
expect this.
Act like you've been there before. And I get that, but it also comes across sometimes that you're too cool for the room. And sometimes you weren't there before, so why pretend?
And in fact, in this
I've
scenario,
never been here. I'm excited.
in this scenario, no one has been there before.
That's the point. Like, I want to see you act like you were never there before. And that's just our expectation. Are they probably thrilled? Yeah. But guess what?
course.
It didn't look it.
Can I tell you? It's on us because we just want to see tears. We really want to. I just want to see the emotion because in my mind, I'm like, you just went from probably middle class family or whatever to you're signing an 8-figure contract to start. And then if you're good, you'll sign a max deal in a couple of years. Like, in my mind, this should be the moment of your life. Show me something.
And you know what? Maybe it was. It probably was. But it didn't seem that way, and that's our observation. And it's not just our observation. If you follow social media, a lot of people were pointing this out.
And there were a few exceptions. There were some players up there with big-time alligator tears.
John in Portland talking about the first round and what seemed to be a lack of excitement or gratitude or whatever. What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're good, man. What's up?
Good. So, yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on mostly just the top 10 picks, but, I mean, you can see it from everybody, but I feel like a lot of it for a lot of these guys is, like Monty kind of said, like they're already paid, like with NIL deals. So I feel like a lot of them kind of do come in with a little bit of diva mentality. You got some that are really close to their families, and I think a lot of it is proximity to the family and prestige of the team and stuff. But I just feel like so much of it is, I mean, they're not worried about money. They know it's going to come. They want to go somewhere where it's like, like a high-profile city that's got like the.
I get what you're saying. They might think to themselves, "I already made $4 million on NIL, and my family's all in the South, and now I'm going to Portland."
But college football players make a lot of NIL money.
I know. I'm saying, but it's also changing, Danny. In the past, it was always game-changing and money-changing. Now, over the last couple of years, because of NIL, you are seeing stars that are being drafted that have already made their millions. Back in the day, no kid went into the draft a millionaire.
Might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
We're seeing the aftermath.
Indiana, Jesse, you're on with Covino and Rich. Hey, buddy boy.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good, man. What's up?
So, yeah, I wanted to speak more on the being grateful part of things. I'm 22 years old, wasn't in Chicago a few days ago. I'm allowed to go to MLB games. But I'm a broadcaster here in Indiana. I cover high school sports, and I am so grateful every time I get to put a headset on and call a game, regardless of if it's 2 schools in the middle of a cornfield or I'm in Indianapolis calling the game. It's the biggest game to me.
I love that because you're doing what you love. You're getting paid to do what you love, and sky's the limit, right? So why Are we not seeing that in the NBA for some players, Danny? Yes, it is. For some players. And thank you, man. Thanks for chiming in.
I think because they're crowned early on, Cove. Like you're in high school and you're already
superstar in your own mind, right?
Well, not just in your own mind, but you've been recruited that way. You're an AAU
I think in your own
star.
mind because you didn't do it in the NBA yet.
I don't know.
True, but it's different right now.
You know what I'm thinking
especially
about?
in basketball.
I'm thinking about it, Danny. I'm not changing my mind, but you know what? Everyone's emotional intelligence and how emotional they are is different, right? They're like me. I could watch a coffee commercial and cry. I'll watch a rom-com. If I watched a video, I could go to a wedding of people I don't even know, and I'll be like, that's beautiful. Some people at their own wedding are like, yeah, it's great. Everyone's got different levels of emotions. Why are we, just because I might be an emotional buffoon.
That's true. Everybody has a different personality.
But does it take a lot of emotion to crack a smile? Come on, man.
Yeah, well, that part of it is that's not on my preferred list of destinations. And back to what Rich was saying about that, if you took that into account for our business, say there was a radio draft, and you guys got drafted to Bristol, Connecticut, instead of Los Angeles, California, for Fox Sports.
Yo, let me tell you something.
Am I 21? Then you know what? Then I take what I can get.
Okay,
right?
but what if you were
if
like
I'm 41? I'm like, man.
But what if for years people had been saying you're the next Howard Stern?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Danny, because there was a time when we were at ESPN out here in LA, a lot of the people we worked with then had to eventually move to Bristol. We had since left, and when we're here,
reluctantly moved to Bristol.
But in my mind, I always thought like, would I have wanted? Like, I would have went kicking and screaming. Like, no.
But you're also a guy that earned your way in broadcasting.
I know, but still,
these guys haven't proven anything as professionals yet.
Right.
All right, so we still wish them all the best. These are just observations. We could be completely wrong, but this is what our eyes told us, our ojos. And there was another story that we're going to talk about and dissect and play for you next. It involves Dylan Harper and what he said about his dad at last night's draft. But first, we're so happy to see the rock star, the party star, with the update, Mansi Bolaños.
You guys, it was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, but I was such a groupie by the end of it. I was such a groupie with your fat heads.
I have a video of you probably after one too many tequila shots.
Let's not.
Holding our fat heads, dancing around in a bikini.
Yeah. Oh, of course. No, I became what did Sam say? A ring girl?
A CNR ring girl, yeah.
A ring girl with Lorena? No, guys, it's a good thing I left when I did. Super fun. You guys have a great fan base. I was happy to be there, and I get a shirt from it, so I'll never forget it.
I love
with
it.
a poker chip.
I love it. I'm honored seeing Monty wear our Vegas shirt.
Absolutely. It's a great shirt. It's really soft. I'm into it. I'm into it. All right, we'll start in the NFL, fellas. Ravens former kicker Justin Tucker has been suspended for the first 10 games of the upcoming season for violating the league's personal conduct policy. The Buccaneers have agreed to multi-year extensions with both head coach Todd Bowles and GM Jason Light. Caitlin Clark is going to miss tonight's fever game against the Sparks because she is dealing with a left groin issue. That is not the issue that kept her out a couple of weeks ago. That was a quad issue. Now it's a left groin issue. In baseball, Clayton Kershaw pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and had 5 strikeouts, meaning he is 3 strikeouts away from 3,000 career strikeouts. Very exciting times. Shohei Ohtani also hit home run number 28 on the season. Right now, the Dodgers have officially defeated the Rockies 3-1. The Marlins have retaken the lead from the Giants. It's been back and forth on this one. They're in San Francisco. Miami up 8-5, bottom of the 6th inning. The Mariners and the Twins have been on a rain delay since I started my shift. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bolaños.
Thank you, Bolaños.
Now, we are going to talk some more NBA draft and an observation, but also, I think we got to throw a really fun hypothetical at you guys before we get out of here today, and it has to do with Jeff Bezos' wedding.
Jeff Bezos
is getting married.
He's getting married.
So we'll get to that. We'll go old school. A lot of fun today on Covino and Rich. Hang tight. More next on Fox Sports Radio.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready? Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it. Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game. Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank you.
Love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Joe. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong. For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape with the biggest talent and the best programming available. We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special.
Yes.
Who wants that?
Bigger, bolder, better. We are Fox Sports Radio. Yeah.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready? Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it. Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game. Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank you.
Love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Joe. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong. For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape with the biggest talent and the best programming available. We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special.
Yes.
Who wants that?
Bigger, bolder, better. We are Fox Sports Radio. Yeah.
Angel is the centerfold. By the way,
Mike Trout? Who are you thinking about?
Angel is the centerfold. Me? I'm thinking about Albert Pujols when he was an Angel. So
Man.
it's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio.
Sweet old school Garrett Anderson poster.
And Iowa Sam is playing some old school Jay Giles band. Personal note, when we were in Vegas and Monty was there in her bikini partying and celebrating all that good fun stuff, we had a karaoke night. And you believe they didn't have Jay Giles band Love Stinks? Because I was going to do it.
Are you going to do your best Sandler impression?
Yeah, I was going to be like, it's the C&R convention. Whoopity-doo. Yeah, and I was going to do it. They didn't have it.
That's
but
wild.
the reason Sam plays that is because if you guys remember, it's called Centerfold, but the video was just a bunch of hotties in their lingerie dancing around the Jay Giles band, and there was a really cool drum scene where they drummed Milk is in the drum, and it was a great video for the time, not to date myself, but it's about, hotties.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. Bombshells in just a minute. Old school and 50 hits.
Speaking of milk, before we get to the play of the day, I got to ask Monty something. If you were on a date or any of your girlfriends were on a date and the guy ordered a glass of milk at dinner, is that like a red flag? I've heard women say like they've been on a date and the guy's like, I'll have a glass of milk.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What are you, 5?
Absolutely.
What are you dating a grade school boy?
I'm just saying, like, there are still grown-ups that will be like, I'll have a glass of
A
milk.
glass of milk. Absolutely not.
Well, what if you had nuggets with ketchup or something at dinner?
That's better.
You need milk.
That's better.
But you need milk to wash that
No,
down.
absolutely not. No, get the tenders with ketchup and then get like an old fashioned and make up for it.
Ladies, if it was hold on, ladies.
What if it was a White Russian and it has a dairy in it, or a Caucasian, as it's also called?
Hey, leave Rich out of this.
I'm just curious, ladies. If it was
That's a
like,
good one.
if it was a super hot dude, ladies, and he's like, yeah, nice to meet you and everything. Hold on, I'll have a glass of milk, whole milk. Like what?
I don't know if I could keep a poker face in that moment.
Yeah,
I
I'd be
think
like-
I would be like, I'm sorry, you're having a glass of milk?
Milk, okay.
Wow. All of a sudden, I don't feel well.
We're live from the Fox Sports Radio studio, and it's time for our tire rack play of the day. The NBA draft kicked off the way we all knew it would.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
Fire Nico! Fire Nico!
It's a new era for the Mavs. Well, is it? I mean, they have a pretty stacked squad there in Dallas. That's courtesy of ABC, and that's the Tire Rack play of the day. And for over 40 years, Tire Rack's been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Shipped fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection.
With convenient installation options like mobile tire installation, TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. And look at the time. Let's go.
There's a certain...
Yeah! What we gonna do right here is go back. Back into time.
Throwing it back for a Thursday. Old school when 50 hits. At 50 after, CNR give you the time capsule topic, and we reminisce together.
He has 3,465 hits, 260 career home runs, a .310 lifetime batting average, multiple World Series victories, Captain Clutch. He has a stellar, do we call it an ass resume? What do we call it?
I think you can call that, yeah.
And a big basket, a wicker basket where he used to collect cell phones.
And today is his birthday. Talking about Captain Clutch, Mr. November.
Number 2.
Derek Jeter's birthday.
Derek Jeter.
And by the way, did you hear those stats?
Number
And
2.
People still say he's overrated. It's like, that's the weakest argument ever. Like, beat it with that. Let me karate kick you in the chest. Anyone that thinks Derek Jeter's overrated, you don't understand. You weren't old enough. Something wrong with you. You were in a coma. You don't get baseball. You sucked at baseball and you're resentful. Your team sucked. Something was going on if you think Derek Jeter was overrated, because he was not. The guy was a winner, period. Today's his birthday.
As a Mets fan, hate to agree, but I never understood people that said Jeter was overrated. To me, I just hated the Yankees out of jealousy in the 90s. I'm like, oh, man, another one? Oh.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Jeter, he did everything right. He gave out.
The argument is he was part of a stacked lineup. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was part of the stack.
But he was the stack. He was the most clutch of them all. He was great.
And on top of that, while he denies it, I always admired how he gave out gift baskets to all the random women he slept with.
Yeah, like, allegedly.
Like, yeah, I mean, that was the rumor. And he has denied it, said it's ridiculous, but I feel like that's a rumor that should continue.
He who denied it supplied it. But because it's Jeter's birthday, 51 years old.
The captain.
The captain. What a career. it got us thinking of the greatest sex symbols of our time, male and female, right? So we open it up to everybody. And the reason we bring that up, too, is because, I mean, you may look at Jeter now and think he looks like a grown-up Caillou.
It's a good one.
But in his day.
Oh, in his prime,
man, that guy was
slaying
he was scoring.
Let me tell you.
Talking about that baby?
Yeah,
that baby cartoon?
The bald
Caillou.
Charlie Brown looking guy.
Oh, no one likes that Caillou.
Yeah, no one likes Caillou.
Caillou's a big crime baby.
I will say this. I'm about 10 years younger than Jeets, but growing up in my 20s in the 2000s, when I tell you there wasn't a hot group of girls that didn't have one girl in the group that bragged about, and she got with Jeter.
Dude, for real.
It really
no,
was
no,
like.
No. Rich is right. Rich grew up in Long Island.
Yeah.
I grew up in New Jersey. I have the same exact stories that Rich has.
You bumped into a group of hotties. One of them was like, and you see Jessica over there? She used to bang Jeter. Like there was every group of hot girls.
Everybody
and this guy
loved Derek Jeter.
Got away with everything.
Yeah. Young women,
And
your mom, everybody.
5 World Series. So your mom too. Yeah.
Everybody loved Derek Jeter. You know, he was just a winner.
Right.
And he was handsome in his younger days. I mean, he still looks great now. I'm just saying.
Great,
No. I'm saying, but when he was a young dude, he was a stud. So based on that, he was a sex symbol for sports, especially. Who comes to mind for you? The greatest of all time. Doesn't have to be sports related.
Of course not. I mean, who are you gonna mention? Steffi Graf. When it comes to sex symbols for me as a little boy, I remember I knew I liked girls the minute I saw National Lampoon's Vacation with my dad, and Christy Brinkley was driving around in the sports car, and she started stripping in front of Chevy Chase at the pool.
Oh.
This is crazy. That to me, I was like, yo,
By the way.
Christy Brinkley.
I hate to name drop. Actually, I love it. We've interviewed Christy Brinkley. Can I tell you, she was just drop dead gorgeous in person.
Yeah.
In person. At how old is she? 160? Still at this age.
Looks amazing.
So your phone call's next.